I drove here. But it's really like all this could just take up our energy and our brain space, to just be soaked in the presence of God sometimes. But whether it's chaos, dull moments, just a regular routine, we can be rooted in God, and motherhood is really a deeply spiritual work. So without further ado, let me welcome the panel of mothers, Bee Kim, Hui Min, and Pastor Teresa. Come. They need to push. It's all right. Thank you so much for being here. So maybe you can share a little bit about yourself, introduce yourself, what you do, how many kids you have. Bee Kim can start first.
Yes. All right, I have 3 kids. They are 21, 20, and 18. If I have a choice, I would have another 3 more. But my husband is a chicken, so I'm stuck with 3. So, yeah.
Okay, I'm Teresa. I have 4 kids. My eldest is 28, my second is 25, and then follow on with a 22 and a 17. 3 boys, and the last is a daughter.
I'm Hui Min. I have much younger kids than the both of them. I've got a son who is 14, daughter 12, and another youngest daughter 8 years old. Nice to meet you all. I'm Hui Min. Are we supposed to say what we do as well? Yes. Oh, okay. Sure. So I work in University Malaya. I'm a medical doctor as well as a university lecturer. And I'm so glad that my uni classmate Felicia is here as well.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm Joey, and I have a son. He's 3 years old. He's upstairs. And today is also his birthday, so it's my pleasure to share this beautiful day with him. And let's start with the first question. As I was preparing for today, I really thought that there were many times, I believe, like whether before we were moms or even after, I'm pretty sure it was very different how you imagine motherhood to be. So perhaps you guys can share how you thought motherhood would look like versus how is it right now? How is it different? Yeah. Maybe Pastor Teresa can share with us first.
Okay. After I become a mother, I realized a lot of advertisement that shown baby, sleeping with the song, Ibu, Ibu, Wow, yeah. Baby was sleeping soundly, mother was smiling. Here am I. The reality is, they don't sleep like that. Every 1-2 hours, they wake up and cry, okay? Anyway, but that is just a side note. But the reality is that I don't really imagine when I was not a mom. Whatever that, served to me, so-called, then I realized there's so much in motherhood. And yet, because of who my mom is, she gave me a role model, a very good one. She's a very simple lady. She's very responsible. She's very kind. So with that, and with me, a believer, and learning to love Jesus more, I realized God has a lot of things to say about parenting. So it's through reading a lot of books, listen to podcasts, attending parenting seminars, I aspired to be a godly mom who are just tapping on the wisdom of God. Yeah.
Thank you. Hui Min?
Yeah, sure. So as I shared this morning as well, I had my first newborn in the UK. And I did everything that I thought was what mothers should do. Like, when I was pregnant, went for pregnancy, that's kind of Pilates as well, right? To help with childbirth and all that. And I had a book that most people were reading, and you just follow exactly, breastfed till they're 1 year old, then they will sleep soundly, got good sleeping pattern, no sugar, artificial sugar, all this, no. But within the first week of motherhood, I know that, this is just too difficult to comply. And I then just found out that the author of the book is not even a mother. But anyway, But anyway, so And then I've learned, I think one of the best advice that I've got when I was having a newborn was a very godly sister came and tell me, she says, Hui Min, when you have a baby, everyone will give you a lot of advice, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. But remember that you are the only mother that your baby know of. So you will know your baby best. So just, trust God and trust yourself. So I thought that brought a lot of comfort to me, and knowing that I know I'm not perfect, but luckily I got a perfect God, and that He will teach me, He will guide me, baby will grow one. So that also brought a lot of comfort. Yeah.
Okay, so when I was single, I hate the kids' church ministry because Teresa wanted to step down, right, and take care of the kids, right? So I took over, right? So I still remember, many times, there are some kids who are very naughty, right? I look at them, right, and I say, oh, what terrible parenting skills the parents have. Wait till I have my own, right? I'm very sure they say the same about my kids. So I thought motherhood was very easy when I was a single, and then when I have my own kids, I really wish that after I gave birth to once the baby come out, I really wish that it came out with a manual for me to know what to do when they are year 1 till when they are 50 years old at least, yeah. What helps as a mom is a community. So for me, I really feel that, if you're a mother, you find a community that you can be with, a life group. You know why? Because, right, you would think that your kid, wow, my kid's so terrible. Then you go life group, then other people share, right? They say, not too bad. Their kids also got the same problem. Then automatically you feel, actually you're not that bad mom lah. Huh? So, yeah, have a community. So, yeah, that's motherhood.
Thank you. I think I'm quite different because Vikim says she wants to, after 3 kids, she wants more. Have you always wanted to, that means all along you always wanted to be a mom?
No, I just want to give birth. After I give birth, I'll pass the baby to my husband to take care.
Yeah. Well, for me, it was very, very different actually. I cannot imagine motherhood because I didn't have the desire to be a mom. Just 5 years ago, I think I was always overwhelmed with a lot of anxiety and fear and misconception about motherhood and even just the whole pregnancy, birth-giving process and living up to a motherhood standard. Yeah, so that was something that I could not foresee myself being. Yeah, but through the years, as God transformed me from fears to faith, really I think when He instilled the desire to me to have a child, when I was pregnant with my son, and then of course going through the whole past 3 years of his life, God has really transformed me in this whole motherhood journey, and it's still transforming because I went from I don't want any children to now if people ask me, I will say I'll have as many as God have for me, but
good luck. Good luck. Did you hear that?
He's aligned. We are aligned. So yeah, he's aligned. He's been convincing people to have more kids. Yeah. So, but I mean, yeah, that's our desire. But I think for me, it's not really so much of the number that we put into whether I have 2 kids, 3 kids, 4 kids, but it's really allowing my motherhood journey to be defined by God rather than myself. So, yeah, that's how different it has been for me. And for sure, being a mom is not easy. I'm sure there are so many challenges. And for me, I really remember the time that was, I've only 3 years, been 3 years into this experience, but honestly, the past 2 years has been a joy for me. It's been, I won't say very easy, of course there are different challenges, but minor, I would say. The most difficult for me was when postpartum. Being first-time mom, newborn, for 6 months, I was like, wow, I felt like I was drowning in sleep deprivation, and I also didn't really have friends or community at that time who can really share this burden with me. Although, my husband's there for me and he really supports, but I think only another mom can know another mom's heart. And I think, in those moments, it was so challenging for me. I felt like I really lost myself, trying to struggle to find myself again in the first few months of a motherhood. So I was wondering, was there a time that it was so hard for you guys that, you really struggled to enjoy your motherhood? And how do you walk through that with God?
Okay. Oh, I remember this very well. It's when my son was 7 years old. My son is the youngest, so when he was 7 years old, we put him to a Chinese school. Then one day, right, he struggles going to school. And one day I remember I went up and he changed to his clothes. I said, come, Yihan, let's go to school. He says, no, I'm not going to school. I said, you are going to school. No, I'm not going to school. And then he did one thing that shocked me. He took a phone. You know, last time the old phone, they were very long, the cordless one, and he wanted to throw at me. He was so much anger, he wanted to throw at me. Then he know that if he threw this, he's going to get a big cane from me. Then he put down. Then he ran. Then he took the IKEA folding chair. And he wanted to hit me with the IKEA folding chair. I look at him right then, my maid, who is still with me, she's the 21st year with me, right? She ran up from downstairs, ran up, and then she diffused the situation. I still remember, right? I went to the room. For the first time, I slammed the door, because I always tell my kids cannot slam door, but that day I cannot tahan. I slammed the door, I called my husband. For 10 minutes, I just cry on the phone. I said, your son. Okay, when my son behaves, that is my son, okay? When he misbehaves, it's your son. And then I told my husband this. I said, I want to go back to corporate world. You want me to be a full-time mother, so I quit my career. I think I have enough. My maid can diffuse the situation. Why don't you let her take care of the kids? I'm going back to corporate world. So I remember that time it was very tough. I felt that I don't understand who this son of mine is. But I thank God for community. So community is very important. So one lady did talk to me and say, could it be, his environment that he suddenly goes to Chinese school, and it's very different from being homeschooled all the while. And after talking to a few people, praying, then we decided to pull him off. And for a year, I fully homeschooled him before I put him back to no more Chinese school. So we threw him back into international school, right? But the thing is, I realized that in that midst of my difficulty, I prayed to God, and God never answered immediately. I felt that, sometimes God abandoned me. I prayed so hard, I fasted, but how come never changed? But now, right, looking back, I thank God for that season that I had, the struggles that I had, because then, if not then, I would never be able to understand other parents that tell me their kids got problem. Oh, look, I said, really, man? Look at my kids, also good. Your son got problem? I think it's you, lah, right? So, so because I went through, I realized that, hey, it was difficult, but I know that God pulled through for me. Not immediately. So, some of you, if you're praying for your kids and you don't see result, don't give up. You continue to pray. Today, my son, he's a very loving son. He still has his sparks of anger, but he goes up and he comes down, and then he says, I'm so sorry, Ma. I'm sorry I shouted at you just now. And last Mother's Day, he sent me such a long, sweet note. When I read, right, I was like, I should have had 10 more kids, Yeah.
Okay, that's your sons, your 10 sons. Okay, no,
my son's supposed to marry her daughter, but her daughter don't want my son, so yeah, right.
Your son want my son, not my daughter. Those are jokes, internal jokes. So sorry. Okay. Okay. For me, I find when my children are hard-headed and they want it their ways, especially coming to like age 10 plus, they so know that certain things, what mommy say, teachers say differently, or my friends say differently, those age. So I still remember there's this incident, one of my boy aspired to be gamer, right? So, of course he has been pushing it, want to play game. So I said, okay. I think I pick up somewhere, it can be, most likely it's my reading. It talk about, allow them to go through, okay? And let them experience, see what the outcome. So there come holiday. So I said, okay. You want to be gamer, you want to play game, because in their mind, gamer is very prestigious or very, can be famous, can earn a lot of money, but just keep playing game day in, day out. So I said, okay, you're allowed. Then you have to show me how much you can earn. Then you can, be the gamer that you want to be. Say, I just need to learn this one stroke. I practice this one stroke. I just keep practicing this one stroke. Okay, I allowed him, and he played, I think, a few days. 10 plus years old. And I try to not stop him, like allow him to go all the way, okay? He played and he played, I think 3-4 days. Then after that, I said, how much you earn? 4 cents. I say, see, cannot be a gamer. You cannot be a gamer. 4 cents, you can't even get yourself a meal. So no gamer, okay. So it's really like, let the consequence teach them. And yeah, then after, I think it's a journey lah. It's always a journey. Then, yeah, that's wonderful. Until today, he remembered that. So, yeah, that's something that, yeah, I have experienced. What's
well, with regards to my job, I know that a couple of years ago I was working towards promotion now. You know, because all my other colleagues are promoted ma. Everybody call them prof like that, right? So then I was working towards my promotion. And I know that the time spent, you know, I don't know, that's why Felicia said I don't do hospital work already lah. In the hospital, it takes up a lot of your time. At the same time, my children are like me, they also go 9 to 5 one. Because after school, they'll go for daycare until we finish. Then they come home. So I only had that period of time when they come home to spend with them. But if I have more work to do, whether is it, you know, exam for the university or is it, you know, research work, I have to do those in the evening or night as well. So one day my daughter came back from school. I think she was very upset about certain things and she wanted to talk to me lah. And you know, when you're trying to concentrate, do something, right? Then someone want to talk to you, then you lose your train of thought. Then you start back again, then another one come and talk to you, lose your train of thought. Until when she came, I was like, just go back to your room. And she went back to her room, but she was really sad lah. Then, you know, she started crying. Immediately, once I said that, right, I felt so guilty lah, so guilty. And then the first thing that came into my mind is, because I don't have enough support lah, it must be my husband lah. Yeah, but of course, you know, after that, I had to go back to her room and I apologized. I explained to her that, you know, mother also can make mistakes lah. And, you know, I asked for forgiveness. But it also bring up to me, I also doubt, you know, I was like, you know, because a lot of friends are saying, what do you mean, you want your children to excel lah, then you stay home lah, you know, sit with them, do homework with them, fetch them for every class that they go to, then maybe they can get a scholarship lah. I was like, well, I must do until like that lah. But, you know, I've learned that sometimes when God gives you 2 different roles, He will help you lah. He will help you to do what He wants you to do in where you are as best as you can. Because I always pray, I say, God, if you don't want me here, then you show me, you direct me, then I will follow. So, I mean, that was the same with coming back from the UK to Malaysia as well. Husband said, come back. I was like, no, cannot. But, you know, when God said, come back, wow, so easy, no problem. Yeah, so I think that was the struggle. But I think after seeing how things go through, I have more faith to know that, you know, God will put you where He wants you to be.
Yeah, I think in many times, I think similarly, the different challenges I face as a mom, like what really helped me to, what really walked me through those seasons, especially, you know, I was sharing just now in my early days of postpartum, that was the most difficult, really just finding time to connect with God and just allowing God and community. I mean, although coming to church, although there was not really, thank God our church is growing and we have moms now, but you know, the time I was one of the first moms in this church and it was hard, nobody understood what I was going through. Then the first thing when people see you is, how's the baby? I feel like I'm so invisible, you know, but I think really so many times God reminded me that I'm first His child, and before I'm a mom, so that has really encouraged me. So I really wanted to ask you this question. If you can share a time that God showed you something about your own heart through parenting. Maybe Teresa?
Okay. My heart, I just know that not good enough, right? Even the fact of like, want to be mother, the best mother I can be to my children. I'm not good enough. I so need His grace. I so need Him turn things around. I so need Him to show up. I so need Him to teach my children than me trying to be everything to my children. It's so impossible. So I just know that my strength are small. Also, it taught me that I continuously, regardless whatever season, when they were so young till they are now, I so need God. Yeah, basically that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think the most obvious thing that God showed me, not just in parenting lah, but in life itself lah, is a lot of pride lah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't say that, please. Don't add on the pride. Yeah. So of course I worry also, you know, especially when I may not have spent so much time with my kids that I would have wanted to. So I do a lot of outsource, like outsource to tuition teacher, outsource to, you know, different people who can help me. And I worry that I either didn't give them enough opportunity to explore their talent, or, you know, like I say, sometimes they come back with a report card, you know, and, you know, the report card is like a report card of how much parenting or how much time I spend with them. So it's really hard to swallow. But then I also realized that actually how good or, I mean, how well or not so well your kids do should not be what you alone decide lah. I have to remember that they are also the children of God, you know, and it's not that I can control what direction that they will take lah. So I guess it helps me to swallow down my pride to know that it's not just you, you know. If they do very well, you think it's just you. Yeah, so that allows me to understand that lah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think many times when I lose my patience, you know, and or I feel inadequate, I think many times a lot of us moms feel that we are not enough. I think for me, it reveals a lot about where my security is and where I am placing my control, you know. But I came to realize that motherhood is really not about control, but it's really about trusting in God and surrendering to Him even in the most moments of like really, you know, I'm like at the end of my day, and my patience is like at the end already, you know. I feel like sometimes we pray and ask for patience, and that's really where God is testing us in, you know, growing in our patience, growing in that grace, but really learning to ask the Holy Spirit, to guide me and give me the strength, you know, each and every day to carry through. So I would like to ask Bikim this question: how would you, I mean, you know, in a digital world, how do you help your kids to stay grounded, and not be, you know, so affected by wanting, maybe, how do you deal with like mobile phones or like tech, you know, internet and things like that?
Okay, so yes, we got all these questions way earlier, okay? So yesterday, on the way back from Rimbayu, so we also pastor the Rimbayu church, right? So on the way back, it was about 9 o'clock, we were driving back, and my husband said, what question? So I was reading the question. So when it came to this question, the exact question is actually, right, how to bring the children up in the digital world in their faith, right? So I said, in their faith. Then my 2 kids behind say, nothing. No, you didn't do anything, because it's the father who bring out the faith. I do the other thing, okay? So I tell you what helps us in our family when it comes to digital things in the house. Okay, so my husband institute that in our house, no gadget, because they go international school at 9 years old, they get their iPad. Everything is through their iPad. But when they come back home, right, you can do your homework on iPad. You cannot bring you cannot bring any iPad up to the room. No iPad at all. So whatever they do it downstairs, so I can actually watch them. That's helpful. Then number 2, I think we didn't give them any handphone until they are 16 years old. Now they say that, Mommy, my friend 10 years old got handphone. I say, yeah, that's your friend. If you want, you can go and stay with them. But you are staying in my house. My house is 16 years old. So I mean, every year they will mumble, but we say no. And I think I'm so glad that we didn't have handphone for them till they're 16. And they have all their gadgets downstairs. You know why? Because my 3 kids are very close to each other. Do you know why they're close to each other? Because when they come back, the only place they can hang out is the living room. They don't go to their room. Because a lot of their friends, when they come back, they go straight to their room, bring their gadget, go to their room. So the kids never talk to each other or never really relate lah. Dinner time also come down different timing to eat. But my kids, right, they're always hanging out together. I always send them to sports and they always go together. So everything is together. So till now, when they have their own room, we moved to a new place, so they have their own room. Then one night I caught we came back from church, and then I heard laughter coming out from my daughter's room, so loud. So when I went out, I saw my son and my two girls. They were laughing and laughing and laughing because they having had such a good time, right? And then the next morning when I woke up, I saw my son's room like he didn't sleep in that room. So I asked him, where did you sleep last night? Oh, I slept over at Meme and Cheche's room. And I thought that was very, very encouraging for me. In terms of you try to minimize having kids bringing their gadgets to their room so that they spend time together more downstairs. And for you as a mom, I want to encourage you, if you can, right, tone down on your, read less of Facebook, less of IG, you'll be a happier mom. You know why? When your kid does well in sports, right, he represents the school, the district level, you're so happy. Then you read in the IG, right, your neighbor's kid represents the state. Alamak, suddenly your son no good already. You know, so I want to encourage you, if you're a mom, right, if you can tone down on that, you'll be a happier mom. I don't have Instagram, I don't have Facebook. I'm just very happy wherever my kids are. All right, so yeah.
Yeah, can I add to,
Yeah.
because I see how she parent her children. One thing is put away the gadget. Another thing is fill their life with things that are productive and enjoyable. She did so well in sending their kids to sports, all kinds, from gymnastic to athletics. Yeah. Wow, I tell you, every week 2-3 times, or in fact maybe more. So I think that is very powerful. You don't just take away something, but their life live empty. But yeah, that's why I say it did so well.
I remember when my son was when he was 10 years old, he says, "Mommy, I don't want to go to running training. You send me home, then you send Meme and Cheche there. I don't want to go running." I say, "No. After school, everybody goes." Then when he was 12 years old, one day he told me, he said, "Mommy, you know what? I got cheated into running." But because cheated, so he run. In the end, he can run very well, when he was still thin now, okay? So he can run very well. I said, I got cheated into running, right? I say, yeah. He says, yeah, I'm so glad you forced me to run. Yeah. So sometimes if the kid you just, when they are younger, I'm your mom. Follow me.
Yeah, I think that's so good. I think many times also millennial moms. I mean, I can't speak for the rest, but as what I know is, sometimes the child can be our bosses. But it's good that I think we hold the boundary, and the kid doesn't know what they need, and we know what they need, and being able to hold that boundary for them is great. But besides for your kids, how do you yourself stay connected to God? Being a mom, pretty sure you're very busy in your routine and busy preparing your kids to school and things like that. And even though your kids are now older, but especially when they were younger, how do you stay connected to God?
A few things. Number one, I am their official driver. I drive them everywhere. I drive them to school, I come back, and then I drive them to their training, then I come back, then so I'm their official driver. And when I'm an official driver, the good thing is it's just me and myself after I drop them off. Okay, so when I go to school, I talk to them, I make sure I talk to them, and then when I drop them off, it's me and myself, I talk to God. I pray to God, I complain to God about my husband, I complain to God about so many things, and then God speak to me, then I need to forgive my husband, I forgive my kids, but I pray. And I pray. I realize it's what works for me. I put on music, so I put on Christian song. Then I pray, I cry, I complain, and then I speak in tongues. I find speaking in tongues very powerful because you pray in English, you pray until you also don't know what else to pray. Then you must switch to speaking in tongues. So the Bible says speaking in tongues, right? It edifies you, so it builds you up, and you pray the things that is unknown. So I might pray in tongues. So sometimes I don't know myself. I say, "Oh, mommy, I like the girl. You cannot say too much, right? So you must pray in tongues. You pray in English, then you pray in tongues. Okay? Then you let God lah. So I find that is very helpful. Then number two is I find when I have the time, I exercise. I have a little gym at home, so I exercise, I listen to podcasts, I listen to songs. And when I read the Bible, I have decided that reading the Bible on a handphone doesn't work for me. You know why? As I read the Bible, it's like, ding, ding, oh, Shopee got sale. Wow, faster go and buy, or else people take already, right? So I decided that I want to read the Bible. I use a hard copy. I throw my phone away, then I can read, I underline, I can write my.
Maybe since we have a lot of time, Teresa, maybe you can share how do you stay connected? You have Teresa has 4 children. Pastor Teresa has 4 children.
Okay, now, when my children were much younger, the eldest about 6, the second about 3, and then my baby, Jaden, he was about maybe the newborn. I have a crazy season where I don't even have helps. I mean, no mates. I open my eyes, it's like, whole day just work through. So no chance at all for me to like think about drawing close to God. So in the midst of all that, it's like, hey, your pastor's wife, you never read your Bible, no, the kind of guilt, right? I tell you, it's no joke. It's not that I don't want to draw close to God. I got no energy, and breastfeeding my baby some more. I remember every night I hit my bed, I'm like a dead log, just soundly asleep, so dead tired. So there was one night I really have a divine encounter. I was on my bed. There is so bright a light in my room. Then I really felt God walked near to my bed and fed me something. It's like a dream, and yet it's like it's a real encounter. But I was so tired. I'm not joking. I was so tired. I can't even open up my eyes. But I felt it. It might be just in the spirit. You know what came to me after that? This is what God came, impress or bring this revelation to me. Even I cannot be faithful, God remains faithful. Even I cannot draw near, He comes to me. I mean, I'm so warm that my heart is so filled the warmness of who God is to me. This is not a God that says, see, you didn't do this. He's not a God like that. He just so loves me. He knows this is a season, and He comes to me when I feel so helpless I cannot go to Him. So this is a God that we call upon and we worship. This is a God that so know, how lack we can be, and He come close. So thereafter, really, is the divine strength that I can wake up. I don't know how long after because for a long season I don't have mate. I can wake up early in the morning, find something. I just have that glimpses of time, not a lot. I can read my Bible, I can just pray. It's just so beautiful. I know my God is so real. When I'm in the lowest, He was there for me. And again, in my lowest again, He was there for me. So my God is faithful. So it's not about, wow, I strive, I want to be in the presence of God, I read my Bible. God loves you. He will come to you. Yeah? And of course now, time was really on my hand. Children are all grown. It's a beautiful that I can arise early, see God, pray in the Spirit, I don't confess my sin. She helps me confess my sin. Oh, she was driving. No, just joking. Yeah, just that wonderful, quiet time be with the Lord. Yeah. So we go through our season. Regardless, God remains faithful. He will come to us, and He will stir us, and He will lead us. Yeah, okay.
I'm just thinking I have to tell my husband, if you see me praying in tongues a lot, that means son got a girlfriend.
I never got a girlfriend. No, not yet. Until today, my children's age.
For me, I know that nighttime does not work lah. Never work lah. Yeah, so it's also in the morning. So what I've been doing in the last, maybe it would have been about two years plus, because I remember in one of the preaching sessions I have to talk about spending time with God. So it was because Jesus woke up very early in the morning and prayed first, so I was encouraging the congregation that we should do that. So before I preached, I thought I better do it lah. Takkan you want to say and you never do. So I started doing that we would wake up quite early, about 5:30, 5:45. I would go out and do walks lah, just around my neighborhood itself lah. Sometimes with a podcast, sometimes just praying lah. So of course not able to do it every single day, but most times of the week I do that. So I think that really helps. I know that I cannot do it inside the house, so I do it outside. That's for myself. Then in evening time, before the children go to bed, we usually come together and we will make them pray for each other, pray for what you want to pray for. So that's something that we cultivate. Yeah, so I think that really helps, because otherwise, I think I'm going to go crazy. Yeah.
I think being a mom, sometimes we wake up, the first thing is give, until the end of the day. And I totally agree that end of the day is really not a good time, because we're just out. Sure, people say then it's a good time to go and receive, but you can't even bring yourself there, in those moments. But I think every mom, I'm so glad to hear, that you guys are able to find that a way, to connect with God. And I think that is so important, because we can't just go on autopilot, and we will run out, For me, really, my son is still very young, and he only goes to school 3 days a week, and it's just a few hours in those 3 days. And I always tell people those 3 days are super precious, because I get to, those 4 hours when he's at school, but I try to go to the gym, try to do house chores, then I'm like, my 4 hours is gone already, I have to go and pick him up. Then, or my days could just be stuck in the kitchen, because I cook, I prepare meals for my family. Finish breakfast, then I have to think for lunch, finish lunch, then dinner, and then try to get work in between. So life can just be, like this for me. But as the months went on, I realized I cannot function like that, and I cannot not be connected to God at all. Although I say that, I do kind of talk to God, but I don't really have those quiet moments where I get to just sit and read the Bible and just hear from God, But over time, I've learned to actually involve my son, since he's still young and he's a lot with me, and to really do our devotion and worship together. So on weekdays, the days that he's not at school, I decided that instead of me trying to find time, sneak away and pray and stay connected with God, it's okay, I'll just worship. I'll play the worship song, and I will tell him, I say, okay, Mommy wants to worship. Mommy wants to talk to God, I know you don't fully understand, but you can just sit here and watch me, and sometimes he will join in the worship with me. He might not do long, but it's okay. And there are times when I am connected with God, and I feel like I cry, God, because God speaks to me and show me things, or I have an encounter with God. And then my son will look at me and he'll ask me, why are you crying? Are you sad? And it's so easy to just brush it off and just say, no, I'm okay. But I felt like it's these moments that I can also show him how to connect with God, and I can go to God whenever. Yeah, so I think that's for me as a young, new mom. Yeah. So, yes. We still got one last question, then we can move to that. Yeah, we still got one last question for all the moms. So, if you can leave them, your children, with one truth or one thing, what would you say to them?
So in the car last night, I asked them now, right? So what have I been telling them? My daughter said this, you tell us 2 things. Number 1, always be a blessing wherever you go. So when I drop off my kids, I will tell them, hey, be a blessing, let's be a blessing. Number 2, I tell them, I said, this will help you till you grow old. Very important. Life is never fair. Okay, you accept it. Life is never fair. The earlier you learn, the easier your life is. Because you don't have to compare everyone. Why it's not fair? Life is not fair, accept it, and then you move on. So yesterday, my husband, my daughter said, oh, Mommy, I got my first paycheck. She worked in Kumon for a short while, right? She got 400 something. I gave tithes, and I'm going to buy you a 100 ringgit gift. Then my husband said, how about me? Then my daughter my daughter told him, Papa, life is unfair. The earlier you learn about it, the easier your life will be.
Good. Pastor Teresa?
All right. Okay, so me and my husband, so when we were starting our journey of parenting, there is a session that we went through to talk about how are we going to raise our kids to be, what is the goal, end goal. So with that, we really came up with the so-called little statement, be a blessing wherever you go. So you are a blessing to God, you're a blessing to the community, you know, you hang out with whatever lah, then you'll be a blessing to yourself. So that is with that end goal in mind, that's how we always tilt our children to do life as such. Yeah. So I thought it is something very good, because from the beginning, I don't know where we went already. I think it's a seminar. It was already taught to us. So with that, we echo it. And if, in fact, as one season, my son challenged me, "Wow, Mom, we have to be a blessing. Actually, it can be very tiring, like you're always in that." But all I know is, he see how both of us do life, me and my husband, and he saw the blessing that come by it. So really, when we choose to be a blessing, when we leave that out, God will really take care of us. Yeah, our life is so blessed. Okay.
I mean, I've always been conscious that, you know, I hope that my children won't grow up thinking that, oh, this God is my parents' God. I would like them to know that this God is their God also. So throughout this journey, we've been teaching them how to grow in their faith in God. Yeah, because I also tell them, I know your mommy will never be with you forever. So sometimes they say, huh, you will not die, right? Then I would say, like, you know, even when you leave the house in the future. So I hope that, you know, this God that whom we tell you is about, that you will have a relationship, personal relationship with Him, so that when your mommy is not there to help you, God can help you and also, you know, teach you and at the same time comfort you. So that's what I would like them to learn of.
Can I add one thing? I realize kids nowadays don't have empathy. That means they don't feel like, you know, for people. I think it was my mom who taught me. So when my kids were young, I always tell them, right, you must always respect the people, especially when they are poor, especially when they are the servant or give you food, or like we will be playing in the garden, and then the sampah guy, you know, the garbage truck will pass by, and then my kids will hold their nose, right? Then I say, put your hands down. I say, you never show that to the people, because I mean, if I'm a garbage guy, right, you go out and people close your, I say, mommy, it's stinky. Just don't breathe, you won't die, right? So they learn from young. So then even right now, the other day, I went to visit them in Nottingham in their place, right? And then the lady that sweeps the floor, my kids say hi to them, and they say hi to my kids. They know my, oh, anak you, oh bagus, oh tiap-tiap kali lalu akan say hi to me. So you teach your kids when they are young, the big bosses, they'll know how to take care It's the younger, the downtrodden, the lowest of the low. You teach them to honor these people, and they'll be a bit more balanced as they grow up Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I think for me it's really, I really hope my son will grow up knowing that I love him deeply, but more importantly, he knows that God loves him the most. I tell him that every day, you know, Josh and I, we always affirm him, my husband and I, we always affirm him that we love him and, you know, God loves him. And one day, when he was being a bit naughty, so I disciplined him. But I always reaffirm him that I do this because I love you. And I ask him, I said, you know, history only, sometimes I feel like we think that sometimes when kids are young, maybe they don't fully understand, but actually they do, you know. And when I told him, I said, you know that I love you, right? You know that mommy and daddy love you. And he said, yeah. Jesus loves me too, I know. I'm like, okay, you know, yeah, that's good, yeah. So, yeah, I think for me that's really, I really hope that he would be so secure in his the love that God has for him, so that, you know, whether it's in doubt, in wonder, in sadness, in anger, he can go to God and be close to Jesus because he's secure in that love. So, yeah, we do have time, so I want to answer we will do some Slido questions. There's some questions. Okay, so here it says, okay, this question asks, where is the father in this journey? So as the burden of parenting is not just resting on you. Sorry, let me maybe rephrase this question a little bit, because maybe it says, okay, so it says, thank you for your great sharing today on your role as a mother. Where is the father in this journey? So as the burden parenting is not just on you. So maybe you can share the thoughts of how, you know, you balance the role, and where does your husband played a role in raising the kids as well. Because motherhood is really, not just, I mean, of course, for single moms, that's another journey, but for moms like us, we have husbands, and You want to share?
Okay. I
Just
think
what you shared about doing the faith part, right?
yeah. So I think it's a tag team. When we are raising a kid, we might not have everything that we can do, so we get our husbands to do. And sometimes our husband's thought and our thoughts are totally two different ways of seeing things. So what do you do when you don't have, first it's a shared thing. If you cannot agree, then I suggest you have a community of people that you can go to and talk things through. What is the father's role? The father's role is, okay, if the father is a breadwinner and not at home, and like for me, I'm a full-time homemaker, then I spend more time with the kids, I understand the kids more. But if you are together and both of you are working, it takes both to raise up a kid. If you are a father here, please remember that when you come back, you also want your quiet time to play your games, right? But can you do that after you put your kids to sleep? Because the kids needs to know that there is a father figure. We don't want to raise up a kid where they only know the role model is their mom, and they have no role model of a man. So father, you play a very, very important role. Yeah.
That reminds me, just a quick jump in, because Josh does put Jasper to bed most nights, because I do pretty much all his naps and during the day. So at night, he's the favorite. Whenever, even until today, when we ask, who do you want to put you to sleep? Daddy. Okay, good. I can rest, But I remember there was someone who few years ago, probably a guest in our church, and he commented when Jasper was young, and Josh was carrying him around, and my hands were free, and my son was still young, and he commented, I said to my husband, where's the mom? How come I see the dad only carrying the son? Then my husband said, because she take care of him every day already, so weekend I take so I think, really, I do think that husband, it's a tag team, maybe Monday to Fridays, the dad is working, and mom is already, taking care of the kid every day, and whether it's just a bedtime story that the dad can put the kids to sleep, or weekend, I think that's something that every family will have to figure out.
Okay, the primary relationship in a family is husband and wife. So it's a tag team, and all the more the husband and wife, the tightness of their relationship, right, will outflow and give security to the children. Yeah. So children grow up in this kind of environment. Yeah, they are secure, and they will, unknowingly, they'll do very well in life because the stability is there. So the role of a husband or father, first and foremost, I want to say, love your wife. Shower your wife with lots of love, good, kind words, respectful. And of course, first 7 years or even below, right? First 7 years, mother play more important role, nurturing role. But children somehow come to that, after the age, they will look up to a father. They want a hero. Yeah, of course, growing up, everybody need to be involved, right? It's just that, as a mom, don't be overwhelmed because the children keep coming to you. It's normal, because that's how God made you to be. We are more nurturing, more soft, right? The father, because maybe going out to work, just a few hours that they have. Yeah. Saying all this, all I want to highlight is, there's so much to say about role of mother, role of father. But the security of the family unit, husband and wife role, is very prominent. Husband and wife, not father and child. It's husband and wife. You do that role well, because as you talk with your wife, then you'll find out, oh, your son did this, your son did that, or you all will have know how to go about tackling situation. So don't undermine that. Mother and child relationship is no greater than father, also husband and wife. Just have to bear in mind that you do your husband and wife role well, outflow from there, you will have a secure child.
Yeah, well, my husband is not here, but if he was here, he's a very hands-on dad. I have to say that even at very young age, Even if I have to leave for a couple of days, he could manage the kids no problem. And if also same thing, do you want you to bed? It's always daddy lah. Because I will just go inside, make sure sip, okay, close the light, goodbye, come out. But the daddy will sleep there with them, you know. Yeah, so I totally agree with what Pastor Teresa say lah. So I always also tell my husband, I think one of the best gifts that we could give our children is to ensure that we have a good marriage lah. Because I think that definitely will help them in life and how do they see mom and dad itself lah. Yeah, so no one is perfect, although I always sort of jokingly say, your mom is not always right, but it's mostly right lah, jokingly. Yeah, but definitely they have to see two sides of the figure lah. The roles are different.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Maybe just one quick one, how do you discern the healthy boundary between supporting your child's education and overloading them with tuition and back-to-back activities every day after school? So I think B. Kim should share this.
Okay, I tell my kids this. As long as, okay, I have 3 kids. One of them don't have to study and she gets straight A's. She literally doesn't study. She watch Korean drama all the way. She gets straight A's. So of course, the brother underneath her will feel so pressured, right? He says, life is not fair, mommy. She just watched Korean drama for IGCSE and she gets straight A's. And I study also, I don't get good results, and so on and so forth. So I've learned to tell them this. It is the effort you put in. As long as you study hard, whatever results that comes back, I will learn to accept. I will bite and I will learn to accept. And I think for me, right, to balance between what is good and there are so many things. You can get your kids to be excel in music, sports, studies. Each kid got their own capability. I think as a mom, you don't project your dream to them. So I have a dream. I've always wanted to go to Ivy League University, but I have no money. So Ivy League, no league at all, okay? So forget about it. So one day I sat down and talked to my daughter. So I said, hey, if you just study, right, Cambridge or Oxford is nothing to you, and your grandfather will pay. So why don't you study and go to Ivy League University? Then she looked at me. She said, why should I go Ivy League University? Right now, not good, meh? Now I go Nottingham, not good, meh? You want me to study and so stressed and then, have all the mental health issue. Wow, that really opened up my eyes, because I suddenly realized that I'm actually trying to live my dream through my kids. So yeah, smart girl. So she doesn't have to continue to study so hard, right? So yeah.
Wow, great. That's great. Yeah, really powerful. I want to close the session. Yeah, thank you so much for our panelists here today. I think I just want to bring back the scripture in Deuteronomy 6, chapter 6 to 7. As we, as I started and when I shared just now, motherhood is really an everyday thing. It's not just a one-day celebration. And there's this saying here. It says the ministry of mom. She may never preach from a pulpit, but her kitchen table has heard more wisdom, love, and truth than most conference halls. Her daily life is a living sermon. And yeah, I hope that every mom here, that every little moments that you carry through in faithfulness, God sees you and that you are loved, and we cannot ever pour from an empty cup, so we first have to make sure that we stay connected with God as well. So yeah, I think that's a wrap for today.